Welcome to Retire Ready in 10, the Financial Corner podcast. Real conversations for real people. Hosted by Phuoc and Tram. We help you retire smart with confidence and clarity in just 10 minutes a week.
Hi everyone, this is Tram. I'm a licensed agent with a background in psychotherapy. Today's topic is a tender one. What if I get sick in retirement? It's not a question people want to ask, but this is the one that we need to.
And I'm Phuoc, CEO of Financial Corner. I've seen this question shake even the most well-prepared families. Because the truth is, no one wants to be a burden. No one wants their spouse or children to become a full-time caregiver. And yet, very few people plan for this reality.
Exactly. In therapy, I used to hear this quiet fear from older adults all the time. What if I lose my independence? They are not afraid of dying. They are afraid of getting sick and lingering.
And unfortunately, most people assume Medicare will cover long-term care. But that's a myth. Medicare doesn't cover custodial care, the kind of help many people need later in life, with bathing, dressing, eating, even home assistance. That all comes out of pocket.
Let's talk about some real number here. Imagine you or your spouse needs care, either in a nursing home or at home with daily help. That can run anywhere from $4,000 to $10,000 a month, depending on where you live.
And that's not a short-term cost. On average, people who need long-term care use it for 3 to 5 years. That's easily $150,000 to $300,000. And for couples, it could be double that.
Now, we're not sharing these numbers to scare you. We are sharing them because the earlier you understand the risk, the more options you have to plan around it.
Exactly. There used to be only one option, traditional long-term care insurance. And while it helped many people, it came with rising premiums and a use it or lose it setup. If you never got sick, that money was gone.
That's what made people hesitate. I remember a client, let's just call her Linda. She told me, I can't justify paying for something that I might never need. And I understood that. But then her husband had a stroke. Overnight, she became a 24/7 caregiver and it's drained them emotionally and financially.
Yeah, we met Linda after that. And what we offered her was something new, a modern approach to planning for the what-ifs. Using hybrid tools that combine life insurance with long-term care benefits. I wish somebody had worked with my folks and showed them this sort of plan.
Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Well, her story really hits especially close to home for me. 10 years ago, my father fell seriously ill and needed round-the-clock care. I'll never forget those months. I used up all my PTO, not for vacation, but to become his caregiver. Bathing him, feeding him, lifting him to and from the bathroom. And I didn't have any medical training. I was just, doing it with like a full heart of love and a desperate will to help him.
Yeah, I remember that. You became a 24/7 caregiver for Dad.
Yeah, I remember waking up in the middle of the night to check that if he was breathing, basically. I'd carry him even though my back ached. And, to be honest, I'd be crying silently in the showers just so he wouldn't see how overwhelmed I was. And you were pregnant during that time.
I was about 3 months, right? 3 months before due date.
Yeah. And, we were both stretched pretty thin, emotionally, physically, and financially. There were moments when I didn't know how we were going to make it through to the next day. And you know what the hardest part was? My dad's always been a strong and proud man. And watching him decline without a proper care plan, kind of broke something in me. I kept thinking, why didn't someone show him how to prepare for this? Why didn't we talk about it sooner? And that experience changed me. It's really one of the biggest reasons why I do this work today. Because I never want another family to go through what we went through. It was beyond what I ever could have imagined. And it could have been so different with just a little more planning.
Thank you for sharing that. And it really shows that this is more than just numbers. This is about peace of mind for yourself and the people you love. Getting back to our topic, I love this kind of solution. The hybrid tools that combine life insurance and long-term care benefits. Because even if you never get sick, your family still benefits from the policy. It's not wasted money, it's an asset. But if you do get sick, it gives you options: professional care, dignity, and space for your loved one to stay emotionally present, not physically and financially overwhelmed.
There are also annuities with long-term care riders and other index-based plans that offer built-in protection. These aren't one-size-fits-all products, but they're tools that we use to protect retirement income and reduce risk.
And you know what else? When clients plan for this early, like in their late 50s or early 60s, the cost is often way more manageable.
That's right.
You can build it into your plan like you would insurance on your car or your home.
That's such a key point. Now, people insure their home and car without question, but not their health, not their spouse's peace of mind. That's the biggest asset, your ability to live with dignity.
And there's an emotional layer too. When someone has a stroke or Alzheimer's or developed Parkinson's, it is not just about money. It's about identity, patience, love, and stress. The less pressure there is financially, the more energy the family has to support emotionally.
You know, I've sat with sons, daughters, spouses who broke down in tears because they didn't know what to do. They wanted to help but had no roadmap, and they were watching the retirement plan unravel in real time.
But it doesn't have to be like that though. When you plan ahead, you give your future self and your family so much more than money. You give them clarity, comfort, and choices.
You know, that's what real planning is. It's not about selling a policy. It's about designing a life that works, even if the unexpected happens.
So, if this topic brings up fear, uncertainty, or even some guilt, you are not alone. So many people avoid this conversation because it feels too heavy. Even now we're talking about this, I just noticed that our voice is just so, heavy. But I promise, once you face it, it's become lighter, not heavier.
You know, and you don't have to do it alone. We offer free community workshops where we walk through these scenarios, tools, and options in a no-pressure, friendly setting.
Whether you're still working or already retired, it's never too late or too early to build peace of mind. Come join us at our next free workshop. Ask questions. Bring your spouse. You will leave with clarity, not confusion.
Thanks for listening to the Retire Ready in 10, the Financial Corner podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and share with someone who needs this. The information shared in this podcast is for educational purposes only. It is not intended as financial, legal, or tax advice. Individual situations vary, and you should consult with a licensed financial professional before making any decisions. Financial Corner Inc. and its representatives are licensed in specific states and may not be authorized to offer certain products or services in all jurisdictions. Guarantees and protections provided by insurance products are subject to the claims paying ability of the issuing company. Listening to this podcast does not create a client relationship. Thanks for tuning in to Retire Ready in 10. We're here to help you retire smarter, not harder.